Some people say, think before you speak. But to think good thoughts, you need to be a reader. So essentially, reading does to your mind what exercise does to your body and soul. A reader today is definitely a leader tomorrow. So let's delve straight into a reading exercise. The tumultuous applause was misplaced as far as the presentation was concerned. I had seen the presenter backstage, butterflies in his stomach, angsty, worked up, and on his tenterhooks. Textbook case of a petrified orator. I nudged him, patted his back, put him at ease, even prodded him on to do his best. Break a leg, I cheered him. What a paradox. Now that the audience is lauding him, I'm weirdly dejected. Makes me wonder if I ever wanted him to succeed. Was it all a facade? Have you ever experienced this, projecting something while concealing your true emotions? The ultimate smokescreen is a smile, which conceals more than it reveals. The extract today will take us into the depths of what a smokescreen is all about. I'm sure if this word is new to you, there's plenty to learn from what is going to follow. So let's dive straight into it. From the extract that we just read, there was one word which stood out, which indicated hide. The meaning of the word was hide. Do you recall what it was? Yes, that's right. The word was conceal. Conceal essentially means not revealing the true self. Basically, hiding something. Let's take the example of parents. Parents often conceal what they truly go through in terms of their stress, challenges from their children because they don't want to expose their child or their children to the challenges of life. So to conceal means to hide or not reveal the true self. There were several words in the extract indicating depicting a certain picture or showing something. I would like you to come up with at least one of them. What was the word which indicated showing something? The word was projecting. Projection or projecting essentially means showing a certain picture or trying to build a certain narrative which may not necessarily be true. Today we live in a world of projecting or projection. We live in the world of PR where people are constantly promoting themselves or projecting a certain picture which may not necessarily be true. There are several actors in the industry today, in the film industry today, who are mainly known for their, the ability to promote themselves rather than their true acting talent. So this is known as a projection. I believe it is important to possess true talent because how long will you survive on projection? Let's try and recall one word in the extract which meant feeling depressed or crushed. What was that word? It could also mean disappointed. Think, what was the word? Try and recall. Well, I think you got it right. The word was dejected. Dejected, crushed, or for that matter, disappointed. All of this means the same. Let's take a scenario. You take an entire month, you're agog with excitement, looking forward to possibly a trip with friends to Goa, and suddenly you end up fracturing your leg. There, all your plans go completely haywire, and I'm sure you're crushed, or rather, dejected. When someone's up for a performance or probably a presentation, and you want to wish them all the best, normally we say, do your best, all the best, go for it. But there is a very interesting idiom we can use to possibly wish someone well before, they're up for something big. possibly a stage performance. The idiom was clearly mentioned in the extract. Why don't you jog your memory and tell me what that idiom was? Well, if you've tried hard enough, you'll surely come up with break a leg. Break a leg is a way to cheer someone on, or possibly give them that much needed boost to go and do their best. So if my son is up for a performance, I will cheer him on by saying, break a leg, go, do your best. There were several words in the extract which referred to being worried or being tensed. Okay, let's take a few of them. First up, it was, yes, the word was angsty. Angsty essentially means being worried or being tensed. Okay, so I was angsty about what the outcome of the exam is going to be, or I was not so well prepared. I'm not sure, if the guests are going to like the meal prepared by me. So I was angsty about how it'll taste. Okay, so angsty is a very good way to say anxious about something or worried about something. The other one was to be on your tenterhooks. To be on one's tenterhooks or to be on your tenterhooks essentially means not sure about how the outcome is going to be, and it kind of keeps you constantly, in an angsty state of mind or anxious state of mind. Okay, so let's take the example of Saif Ali Khan when he was wheeled in for surgery and he had suffered six, stab injuries. I'm sure his loved ones would be on their tenterhooks as they waited anxiously outside to see the outcome of how the surgery would go. So basically, to be on one's tenterhooks is to anxiously wait for the outcome of something. The next one is similar to the previous one, essentially. It is about being tensed or worked up about something. The word worked up was also there in the extract, which meant tensed. But there was a very interesting idiom, okay, which indicated angsty, anxious, worked up, to be on your tenterhooks, all of this put together. So the idiom was, well, this was probably an easy one to recall because it stood out. The idiom was butterflies in your stomach. When do you have butterflies in your stomach? Possibly before the D-Day. So if you're up for your wedding and it's the D-Day, so I'm sure you have butterflies in your stomach, not knowing what the future holds for you. So butterflies in your stomach is one other way of saying being anxious, worked up, or tensed. In the paragraph that we just read, there were several words which indicated to encourage someone. Can you come up with some of them? I think a couple of them were easy to recall. Let's list down all of them that meant to encourage someone. The first one was prodded him, or to prod someone basically. So I prodded him to go for that pastry because he was kind of thinking whether he should go for dessert. But I prodded him to have it. Basically, I encouraged him to have it. Okay. Next up, you have patting someone on their back. So this phrase was also very much there in the extract. When you pat someone on their back, you're basically giving them a word of encouragement, and you're kind of nudging them on. So yes, the next one was to nudge the person. To nudge someone means to prod or to boost or to energize them. So to nudge someone in the right direction. Sometimes kids need a gentle nudge from us in the right direction so that they can further, take the necessary course of action. Okay, there was also another one which was kind of in the same zone, and it meant to put someone at ease. So sometimes when we are trying to encourage someone to go for something which they are possibly angsty about, you have to first put them at ease. It'll be all right. Go for it. I think it'll work out. that these words of encouragement actually put the person at ease and kind of give them the much needed nudge to go for a particular thing and try something out. The extract that we read started with a word which meant loud, confusing, disorderly, noisy. Can you pinpoint and tell me what that word was? Well, slightly a tongue twister. The word was tumultuous. Tumultuous essentially means something that is disorderly, can possibly take a violent turn, a confusing turn, okay, and it is essentially even characterized with noisy. So let's take some examples. One could be in a tumultuous relationship where you're not possibly sure about your partner, okay, but you continue to be in that situation. So tumultuous situations or tumultuous relationships. Tumultuous can also be applause, as was there in the article or the extract that we just read. Basically, a confusing, cheering crowd where it's noisy and clamorous, essentially. Tumultuous situations are also there in life where everything seems like a turmoil, confusing, and perplexing situation. One word in the extract meant contrast. What was that particular word which indicated different situations or strikingly different situations? It brings out the contrast. While there are multiple ways to express this thought, the word in the paragraph was paradox. Let's take an example of a paradox. In India, we say that don't talk to strangers. But what a paradox. We possibly might end up marrying one and even regretting it for the rest of our life. Scared. One word in the paragraph that we just read meant scared. What was that word? Well, the word was petrified. Petrified means being absolutely scared of something. For instance, I'm petrified of feathered birds. I just don't like the way they flap their wings, okay, and it's kind of scary for me. So, while it may sound funny, but that's the fact. I'm petrified of feathered birds. The one who speaks or delivers a speech is a speaker. What was the word in the extract which meant speaker? Well, if you came up with it, it's orator. Orator is a beautiful alternative to the word speaker. Essentially, it's the one who's delivering the speech. Connecting the dots, Dr. S. Jayashankar, a wonderful orator. So basically, he's a perfect example of a wonderful orator. In the extract, there was one word or one phrase which indicated perfect example. What was that phrase? The phrase was textbook case. So when something is a textbook case, it's basically the perfect example. So MS Dhoni was the textbook case of a calm, composed captain, as he was aptly called Captain Cool.